Okay. God, hi guys. There are more of us than you. Let me see. Is this okay? Yes. Oh God. Hi. I am the daughter of the first and only ever Jewish Miss America, who took being an iconic Jew very seriously. My now husband is of Irish Catholic descent, whose parents thought that if you got pregnant out of wedlock, you'd burn in hell forever. There I was, madly in love with an Irish Catholic and 3 months pregnant. To appease both sides, I promised my mother I would seriously consider naming our child Rivka or Shmuley. For his side, I decided that we would keep the pregnancy secret and hope they were very bad at math, and when Rivka or Shmuley arrived 6 months later, they wouldn't have done the math properly. We did the wedding invitations so quickly they weren't embossed. For the dress, I hightailed it over to Rosalita's ready-to-wear wedding gowns. Because I was weeping so profusely from my raging hormones, Rosalita herself selected my dress. It was in the Empire style. It clung to my ever-engorging milk-fed breasts. And then it flared out with some kind of polyester cardboard material, hiding my protruding belly. Not the satin and taffeta number I had in mind, but Rosalita thought I looked splendido in it, if only I stopped weeping. Unfortunately, no one would marry us. The Jews have a thing that you can't marry a non-Jew in a temple, and the church might have married us, but my mother, Queen of the Jews, would have had an embolism. Finally, we found a rabbi he was a kind of holdover hippie, and he wore a tie-dyed yarmulke and tzitzis, and he sung Kumbaya on the guitar. The priest, who had been excommunicated but still had the dress, sung Kumbaya in harmony. They would marry people anywhere, even the ferry. We chose the Harkness House, which is actually a dance school that rents itself out on the weekends, and no matter how much Febreze, you still smell the sweaty leotards while you're getting married. When the big day arrived, I was in the Harkness House bathroom, sitting on the toilet lid, having major existential angst, thinking, wasn't children for farmers? People who needed extra hands to gather eggs or plant hay? While I was suffering thus, the guests were taking their seats. The Jews to the left, all in black, because they were chic. The Irish to the right, all in turquoise, because it was springtime, and black is for funerals and the winter. My mother gave me away. My father was long dead, and she insisted on parading me down the aisle. Actually, not me, but herself, because she looked smashing. And her mafia boyfriend was in the audience, and he had just given her a large sapphire ring to prove that he loved her more than his wife, who was sitting next to him in the audience. Clearly, this made their affair more exciting. It made me very nervous. Just when I thought I would collapse under the pressure, I saw my soon-to-be husband waiting for me at the end of the aisle. He was looking at me with a look that made me feel I was the answer to every question, every riddle posed to mankind since the Neanderthals stood upright. He gave me the temerity to keep walking. I arrived at his side. Rings were exchanged. I wish I could remember more, but reality wasn't operating. All I know is that the priest and rabbi hugged, the Irish wept, the Jews fixed their hair, and the deed was done. The wedding party was in a beautiful midtown restaurant, terrific mahogany bar, gorgeous buffet table in the center, laden with chafing dishes and platters of hams and turkeys and pastas and potatoes. The doors opened. The Irish made a beeline for the bar, the Jews for the food. I personally have never seen vultures descend on a dead goat, but you could almost hear enormous wings flapping as the Jews grabbed 6 or 7 plates each and made their way 5 times around the buffet table, balancing their plates like expert waiters serving parties of 10, not trusting that they could go back for seconds. Because who knew if the 8 hams, 7 turkeys, and 20 pounds of pasta would still be there? When the Irish finally unglued themselves from the bar, they were, needless to say, confused. Surely there had been food there earlier. But because they were so busy toasting all their relatives in Donegal, Flatbush, and Count Kerry, they never saw the entire dining experience disappear. In the end, they were reduced to bread baskets, scarfing down huge amounts of bread with 8-inch-thick slabs of butter. The band began to play, we had Havangila, we had jigs, and just when I thought it might be time to leave, since I couldn't drink or do drugs, and was very resentful of the fact, my mother's mafia boyfriend asked me to dance. Now, my mother thought the mafia was cute because of the movies. I knew not to say no to a man whose best friend, MS, was Manny the Fish. So he had had a bottle of Sambuca, my mom's boyfriend, to go with his Italianite roots, and he whirled me and swirled me around the dance floor until he keeled over, his patent leather shoe catching in the hem of my Splendido wedding dress and taking the entire overlaying netting material with it until all I had on was a polyester slip. I was appalled. But the Irish Catholics, for whose sake we had gotten married, didn't seem to mind. Because now that I was married, it didn't matter that I was 3 months pregnant. I didn't understand anything or anyone at this point, except that they all were having a good time, except for me. Our honeymoon was in the Caymans, because it was the closest place to the US you could go that was in the Caribbean. When we got there, there were hurricane warnings, and 4 Rastafarians had just murdered 12 people, so there were warnings about them too. To calm ourselves, we went to a local dining establishment and ordered the specialty, land crab. When we finished, we asked the owner, "Wow, what an amazing dish. Where do you get land crab?" He pointed to the parking lot and the garbage cans lining the side of the fence, and some small little brown things scurrying around. Land crab. As my knees buckled, my husband caught me in his arms and said, "I hear they get their garbage from the best places." I laughed and laughed, and 30 years later, he still has that talent to make me laugh. He's now, more than ever, the love of my life. But unfortunately, we just found out he has that irredeemably stupid thing called cancer. I hold on to him at night and he holds on back. I tell him he's going to beat it. And I tell him he's going to beat it because my mind, though it has been known to fly the coop from time to time, is a very powerful thing. And in my mind, if you don't believe in miracles, you're not a realist.